So, can you talk a little bit about the difference between shaken and stirred, and really why would you do one
Oh
over the
yeah.
other?
So one of the biggest things is anytime you incorporate juice into a cocktail, you're going to shake.
Okay.
And it's really just the fact that like stirring citrus juice is never going to cause it to mix up as well, and also it changes the texture and the mouthfeel. So I mean, even if you ever even just pineapple juice will do it a lot, but even just something like lemon juice, like when you see it's been properly shaken, like the first minute you get it, it's got that little bit of film on it, and like the texture of that is tremendously different. And stirring it, you're really like you're getting to the temperature, you're hitting the dilution, but you're not agitating the ingredients.
Sure.
And you get that velvety kind of feel to a proper shaken cocktail with good citrus. And then, but the big thing of why I ask people if they like a stirred cocktail or a shaken cocktail is that dilution point. And especially like I'm someone, you could take any booze off the shelf and I can just sip it right in a glass. I'm good to go. But I have been sipping booze for God knows how many years, so I'm a little desensitized.
Sure.
I am not surprised when there are some people like, that's a little hot for me, and like, that's totally fair. And so, years of drinking cocktails and sipping things like, shaken cocktails are your good starting point, and as you get a little bit more used to consuming just kind of hotter and hotter booze, like booze hotter drinks,
Yep.
that's where you want to start moving to those stirred cocktails where you're really getting a better expression of just the alcohol.
So for you, if you're at home and obviously you're not going anywhere, always drink responsibly. What's your proof point for you, for like a nice everyday sipper?
Usually in that 50% or 100 proof, like that. I'm already at that like slightly overproof category, and like you can start getting to like 60%, 120 proof, and I'm still okay with that.
Wow.
And whatever, I'm broken. Like I and I 100% get that, and like so like I actually I have a cognac at home that it's a cask strength cognac, which is really uncommon, and I think that's super cool because you get like it's oily on the palate. It's strange. It's all these things you never get in cognac. And I remember sipping it one time, and I was saying how good it was, and my girlfriend asked if she could try some, and reached over and took it, and at which point that spawned a coughing fit for like 2 minutes. And I will never, ever hand someone something like that who does not already like overproof spirits.
Sure.
It's like we have a bunch of cask strength bourbons on the bar. And anytime someone's asking for it, like if you're like, oh, can I get that Maker's Mark? I always make sure, like, just so you know, that's cask strength. And that's the difference of like, I think regular Maker's Mark is 43%, but like you're going from 43 to 62% alcohol. That's a big jump. And like, the worst thing is when you see someone take a drink and they're just begrudgingly going through it because they're miserable. And it's like, there's a point where like, it's not a pissing contest. Like, you can like things that are lower. Like,
Right.
if you like a just standard proof bourbon, like, then like a standard proof bourbon.
Right.
You don't get any bonus points because you suffered through a drink.
So you do create the cocktails that are on the regular menu?
Yes.
Okay. And when somebody comes in to get a cocktail, do you prefer them going off the menu, or do you enjoy having that creative ability to create whatever they want based off of what they tell you?
Oh, I mean, there is a time and a place for all of it. And so, like the default is like, I am always happy when people order on the menu. And actually, for the most part, like, anytime you go to a new place, order on the menu. Order the things that people wanted to be showcased by. After that, like, if we're winding down on a Thursday night and you already had one or two cocktails, like, and you ask me, like, hey, I tried the Hydrocar and the South Side, like, I don't know, I like both of those, but do you have anything with rum that's kind of like them? Like, then that's a fun game.
Sure.
But, please, for the love of God, if I'm 3 deep at a bar, please just order off the menu. And like, not in a mean way, but there's a time and a place for all of it. And
Sure.
like, I loved having those conversations, and I love having the chance to play. But it's also like, it helps me to play with you as well if I know where you're kicking off from. And if you kick off on the menu with me, it's easier to take. You're like, oh, have you heard of this classic? Oh, so that cocktail you just like is actually a riff off of this. You never had that? Oh, we should make that. Like, you should know this cocktail that's an old school thing that You know, because like all cocktails are a different derivative of something else. Like I got cocktail books over there that are just super fun to go through. Like even like the French 75 is like, here's a great example. French 75. Someone at one point told you the French 75 was named after a French gun from World War I. Well, no, the French 75 is named after a French cocktail that was named after a French gun from World War I. And the thing is, like, so there's originally a cocktail, if you go far enough back, like I have a book from like 1917 where there's a cocktail just called the 75. It's Calvados. It's Calvados and absinthe and grenadine and lemon juice. Like the sparkling wine hasn't even found its way in, and you go cocktail book decade by decade, each one of these ingredients starts changing out until you get to about 1930. The Savoy cocktail book gets printed, and as far as I know, if someone listens to this and corrects me, I will take the correction. But I think the first printed version of French 75 is Savoy, and that's 1931, I think. But like every cocktail starts somewhere, and they're all derivatives, and people add one thing, take one thing out. Like even, you know, like on our menu, like almost all the original cocktails, like they probably started with something I already knew. They started with either like, you know, the base or the formula of a cocktail that I like. Like for instance, one of my favorite fall cocktails on the menu is called the Harvest Reviver, which even in its name is a nod to the Corpse Reviver, which I think is a cool cocktail. By time this cocktail got made, like it's a slight homage, like the ratios are all over and it's got more ingredients than a Corpse Reviver, but like that was the origin of where it came from. Of like it originally started out as a Corpse Reviver riff. If you like that cocktail, I wouldn't mind just making you a Corpse Reviver, because that's a damn good cocktail. And it's got absinthe in it.
You love that.
Oh, no, unabashedly.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I have a type, and it's people who want to drink absinthe. Yeah.